Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellency, my friend Mr. Foreman, the Deputy Defense Minister of Russian Federation, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. At the outset, I would like to thank our hosts on behalf of my government for inviting and affording me this opportunity to share Pakistan's perspective on the issues of global security and challenges of 21st century. I would also like to compliment Defense Ministry of Russian Federation for hosting this important activity, which provides us a useful platform to interact with policymakers from across the globe. It also allows us to visit the Russian Federation, which is home of a great nation, strong traditions, rich history, and one of the most important players in the emerging polycentric world order. Ladies and gentlemen, 21st century is viewed as an era of hope and dynamism on the premise of matured globalization, amazing technological innovations, and the controversial expectation of democratic peace. However, we have witnessed that it continues to be marred by accentuated regional disputes, political instabilities, rising socio-economic challenges, widespread transnational terrorism, and a fragile international system to handle all this. Consequently, multiple actors have gained prominence, thereby changing the balance of power equation across the globe and causing gradual dissuasion of the so-called unipolar international system. The evolving polycentric world order is characterized by resurgence of new center of power, renewed economic interdependencies, and realignment of politico-strategic alliances. While it seeks more consultative and egalitarian approach to manage our shared challenges such as terrorism, socio-economic inequality, climate change, demography, as well as the ongoing conflicts in hotspots like Syria, Yemen, Afghanistan, Iraq, and North Africa. Thus, to deliberate and explore the causes and ramifications of these security challenges is in the larger interest of all nations. Therefore, exploring viable and pragmatic solutions for enduring peace is in need of our, and I believe this conference is a very important step in this regard. Excellencies, extremism and terrorism can be best described as manifestation of a distracted state of mind of individuals and groups who possess self-interpreted set of beliefs and ideologies. The specter of terrorism has affected the very fabric of the societies and is posing an existential threat to the entire human civilization. Experience shows that regions having deep-rooted socio-economic inequality, political or ideological oppression, and polarized societies are breeding grounds for terrorism. Further, states with political instability, whether by design or as a consequence of external interventions, also remain susceptible to spread of transnational terrorist networks. We witnessed Al-Qaeda exploiting instability in Afghanistan, while ISIS is also an offshoot of its arrays in parts of Middle East. While we strive for peace, stability and prosperity, the sustenance of any success depends not solely on kinetic actions alone, but more so on the non-kinetic initiatives such as social justice and corrections of ideological overturns through stacking of correct narratives. Excellencies, while there have been few tactical gains against ISIS, the world remains deeply concerned with the continuous wars in Syria, Iraq, and Yemen, which have created space for the non-state actors. These wars have embroiled regional and extra-regional countries, which have aggravated the chaos. Refugee influx and internal destabilization. It is sad to observe that lessons from the recent past have not been learnt despite failure of similar policies in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya. Unfortunately, today we have a combination of sectarian and ethnic violence ravaging the region and bringing misery for the people who are forced to seek refuge in other countries. It is our shared responsibility that these refugees are treated humanely and rehabilitated, besides making all-out efforts to bring peace and stability in their native countries, which is only possible through a candid political dialogue between the actual stakeholders. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we must also realize that extremist elements garner support and affiliates by exploiting polarization, so there is a need to develop stronger counter-narratives based on interfaith harmony, economic equality, cross-cultural mutual respect to ensure that extremists are denied the space which they seek. Concurrently, it is the responsibility of the world community to urgently address some of the long-standing conflicts of the world. From Palestine to Kashmir, we have a history of suppression and denial of basic human rights, despite their legal as well as legitimate freedom struggles. Kashmir issue is a strategic flashpoint in South Asia, and if left unresolved, it has potential to threaten stability and peace of entire region. Sooner or later, resolution of Kashmir issue must be achieved according to UN resolutions. I must share that all peace overtures and sincere efforts made by Pakistan are not being reciprocated. Human rights violations in Indian-occupied Kashmir are evidence of aggressive policy to suppress the legitimate struggle by the people of Jammu Kashmir for the right of self-determination. Unfortunately, India continues to shy away any plausible diplomatic approach for the resolution of Kashmir issue. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan continues to suffer from perpetual state of conflict between different stakeholders in Afghanistan. Hence, a peaceful and stable Afghanistan is in our interest. We fully support the Afghan-led peace process with the assistance of international community. Let me also assure that Pakistan does not believe in any distinction between the terrorist outfits which has been manifested during Operation Zarb-e-Azab and Operation Raddul Fasad, undertaken by our military and people. Presently, remnants of terrorist networks are being cleared under Operation Raddul Fasad. Here I must state that ongoing operations have been extremely successful, which has been widely acknowledged by the world community. I can proudly say that Pakistan has fought the menace of terrorism successfully, for which we have paid a heavy price to the tune of tens of thousands of precious lives and billions of dollars to our economy. I would like to share that our military operations concurrently included comprehensive socio-economic uplift strategy in disturbed areas. After successfully completion of kinetic operations, we are consolidating our gains under a comprehensive national action plan to deny any space to terrorists to regroup or re-establish their network. The hardcore terrorists are perpetrators of violence are also being tried under the effective judicial system. We are making huge efforts to institute an effective border control management system across the Durand Line. We expect the Afghan government to also take more effective measures against the perpetrators responsible for various terror activities in Pakistan. We have remained committed to play our due share and role in achieving elusive peace and stability in Afghanistan and fully support an Afghan-led and Afghan-owned peace process, while looking forward for further strengthening our bilateral relations to deny space for our enemies and enemies of peace on either side of the border. Our sincerity for Afghanistan can be gauged by the fact that we have been hosting about 3 million refugees from Afghanistan for the last 37 years. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as a result of our resolute struggle against terrorism and extremism, Pakistan is transforming fast to become net security provider instead of security seeker and is set to achieve economic prosperity by reaping economic benefits from projects like China-Pakistan Economic Corridor as part of One Belt, One Road initiative, which is going to be not only a game changer for Pakistan, but for the whole region. Excellency, in the end, I would like to reiterate the classical 20th century approaches for conflict resolutions have become obsolete. In the context of complexity, asymmetry, and intractability of contemporary nature of conflicts, notably in the Middle East, North Africa, and Afghanistan. These are times for introspection, for a dispassionate and objective review of our policies to address the global security. We need to devise policies based on principles of equality, social justice, political stability, wherein human rights rather than economic profits are the basis of international relations. It is only through facing these problems upfront and dealing with them in a just and equitable manner that we can hope for a world of peaceful coexistence. In the end, please allow me to once again thank General Sergei Shoigu, Defense Minister of Russian Federation, and the organizers of this international conference, with the hope that such interactions will help the world community in involving strategies to overcome the security challenge of the 21st century. Thank you very much.